what I feel like I'm doing to you guys. Open wide. Eat your peas. All right. The boxes are here, but they want you to go from that side and end up on this side by simplifying somehow. So the process is exactly the same as I did before. You take the cotangents and you convert them to cosines over sines, and you take the tangents and you convert them to sine over cosine. So it's the same business I just did on the previous problem. And then, like I did on the previous problem, I got common denominators. So the one over here changed to sine over sine, so these two bottoms were the same. And the one over here changed to cosine over cosine, so the bottoms are the same. Got the bottoms the same, big mess, but I have a fraction over a fraction. I invert the denominator and multiply. So I inverted the denominator and multiplied. This is really a sine over 1. So this is sine over 1. So you actually do have a fraction over a fraction. That's how I got that. Then I combined. I got a sine squared by doing putting these two sines together gives me a sine squared. Take the two cosines together, I get the cosine squared. And now I did a little trick. Notice this is sine minus cosine, and that's cosine minus sine. They're really close, and by this time I'm pretty sick of getting common denominators. I was sick of it back here. There's like 250 slides on this thing. By the end of it, I felt like who assigned these? Oh yeah, that would be me. One trick you can do is if you have something where it's just a flip of the other one, if you pull out a minus sign, like I did right over here, they become the same. So let me elaborate a little bit more on that. Just look at this minus sign distributed. If I distribute this minus sign in, I get minus sine plus cosine. And if you put the cosine first, you get cosine minus sine. So cosine minus sine is, if you pull out the minus sign, turns to be negative sine minus cosine. And now the denominators almost look the same. So in general, you don't learn math. You don't memorize stuff like this. You just get used to it. So I did all the problems. And by the time I was like doing them in my sleep like this, because it was just the same things over and over again. You get used to it. So when you see minus A minus B, it's the same thing as B minus A. So kind of keep that in your head as you're working the problems. Another thing, which really confuses my calc students, is that when you have a minus in the bottom of the denominator, it can go anywhere. It can go on top, it can go in front. So that minus sign can move anywhere along that fraction or come in the front. I'm going to pull it to the front. So I have a little y here for you. When you have a over b minus c over d, that's the same thing as a over b plus the minus can go on the top, or the minus can go on the bottom. So it's your choice where you put the minus. Why would I pull the minus out to the front? Give me common denominator. I didn't want to find a common denominator. I wanted to just find a slick way to finish it. And so because they were so closely related, other than they were off by a minus sign, I thought, well, if I pull that minus sign out to the front, now I have a common denominator for free. Then I can combine them. And now sine squared minus cosine squared, that's a difference of squares. Where did that come from? A squared minus b squared. Is a minus b a plus b? With a equals sine x and b equals cosine x. That's where that comes from. Hey, look at that. That slashes out and you're left with sine x plus cosine x. And I bet you $5 that that wasn't the path that they were going to carry me through. But, I mean, how can you force someone down one path? It's like, I did what I thought was right and ended up where I was supposed to end up. So that's the same for you. You just do it on paper, and if you're not getting to the right answer at the end, take a picture of your work, send your work to me, and let me help you find where the error was, if there was indeed an error. Sometimes there's not even an error, it's just that your representation is not the same as theirs. Okay, questions? Taylor, are you gonna fall asleep? I'll have to inflect my voice more. Why are you guys looking so tired? Did you guys have a big test today or something? Is it my quiz?